I'd like to thank the Lions Club for putting this on tonight, and thank all of you for attending. I like the Lions motto. It's just two words. It says, "We serve." And those two little words say a lot about you people and what you do in our community, and I appreciate that. So, my name is Brian Burrows, and I'm the incumbent that's running to re-election for my 4-year seat. My wife and I, Laurie Durfee, both grew up here in Richfield. We've raised our children here, and we both love this community very much. I have 5 children and 1 grandson. I've got 4 beautiful daughters and 1 son. My oldest daughter and son-in-law are currently in Germany. They're stationed there with the Air Force. My second daughter is attending snow up here, pursuing a nursing degree, and my other 2 daughters are here attending school at the high school, and my son passed away at the age of 2. My children are my greatest accomplishments. They're what I do, and that's why I do what I do it for. So that is my family. But I've had a few of my friends that's asked me, why do you get involved in this stuff? And you put all this time in, and then always somebody's mad at you. That's how it always works. But I do that because I love this community, and I care about it, and I want to see this community thrive and grow. Of course of this past election, people have told me I need to get out and say a little bit more about what I do, and that's a really hard thing for me to stand up here and say, well, I did this or this, but because I'm a total believer that anything that we do, somebody along the line somewhere has had something to do with our success. So anyway, my oldest daughter, she always had a little saying, and it's by one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Seuss. It says, "Be who you are, say what you feel. Those that mind don't matter, and those who matter won't mind." So here we go. I've served on the fire department here in Richfield for 15 years. 6 of those years I served as the chief of the department. I've held other officer positions in the department, probably for 7 of those rest of those years. While I served as chief, we procured 2 water trucks, a brush truck, a UTV brush truck, turnout gear, wildland gear, and equipment on grants at 0 cost to the city. In that course of time, we earned about $70,000, which has been put into our capital improvement fund. So we have money there to operate on in the future. While I was chief, we held the state fire convention here. And we've got some really good people coming here. We're amazed at Richfield and what we had here. During that time, I started a process to acquire funding to fund this fire station. And there was a lot of ups and downs with that. But as we went along, I oversaw the design of this building, and I managed the construction of it. It's a $2.5 million facility that we have here. It came in under budget. Well, not under budget. It came in on budget, a little over. And because of our contingency, allowed us to do a lot of nice upgrades that wasn't included into this. But this building was funded with CIB money. That's mineral money that's produced here in this county, and it's basically our money that's being used to fund projects. But this is a good thing. We pay about $13,500 a year on this. It's 0 interest. We've rented it out, part of the building, and it leaves about an $8,000 balance, which our fire department generates far more income than that. But the other thing about me is I come from a construction background. A lot of the issues that we deal with are construction related. One of the things is this water tank up here. Just a simple question that I asked. I wanted to see the cost of a 1.25 million gallon or 1.5 million gallon, and we ended up getting a 50% more of a water tank up there for just a small portion of the cost of the project, which has put us into the future. I'm down to 30 seconds. Wow. Anyway, over the past 4 years, I've spent a lot of time trying to secure underground water rights. I think water is a big issue in this community. It's going to be a big issue in this community. Without it, we're not going to grow. It's impossible to grow. Alpine and several other cities are witnessing that right now. So I take spending your dollars very serious. They're your dollars. I've sought public opinion on things that I've had to decide on. I'll continue to do that. 4 years ago, you trusted me to serve. I would appreciate your support again. You know, there's a little saying out there that says, cynics do not contribute, skeptics do not create, and doubters do not achieve. I've got a real positive view of Richfield City. I'm not skeptical about our future. I think we have put the infrastructure in place with water projects, sewer projects, fire station, different things. Richfield's ripe to grow. And we've got a good business. We've got a good downtown business district. We've got good downtown businessmen. And I think our future's bright. So I appreciate your support. And again, thank you, Kevin and the Lions.
Good evening. I want to thank the Lions Club and the fire department for the opportunity to be here. It's always good to have Deputy Barton here. We always need security. I don't know what I'm going to run into these meetings. Appreciate everybody's time. I'm Parm Patrick, running for the 2-year City Council spot. And it's a privilege to be running against a fine individual, Kevin Arrington. He's a great man. I'm married to a great woman, Chris Bastion Patrick. We moved here in, 1987. She worked for Dr. Ted Christensen, and I worked at the prison in Gunnison. We've been involved in public service, volunteering a lot with the baseball field, as you know, for 15 years. And I couldn't have done that without Chris. So together, where she's been gracious enough to let me run for City Council, she's been supporting me, and we're going to have a great time with this. I was asked why I wanted to run for City Council and if I had a platform. The why is because I love public service. I've been walking around the neighborhoods, knocking on doors, meeting people. I've had a great time with the interaction, asking people what they expect from the city and what they like. I've been to the City Council meetings since June. I think I've missed just one meeting. I want to be informed. We have a great council, a great mayor. It's tremendous work they do. And I know I could be a part of that with mine. I'm very approachable. I love to talk to people. People can ask me questions, and I guarantee them I'll research it. I've been emailing Michelle Jolly a lot for questions and calling Matt Kramer so I can be more informed on the city issues. There's a lot going on. And like I said to when we met with the chamber luncheon, we need to roll out the red carpet for people to come off I-70 and spend money in town. Downtown's beautiful. I was asked, would you have done different, anything different in the past? And I've always said, you know, it's not my place to question what happened in the past. But it is a responsibility to ask people what they want done in the future and keep the items that have been built or the money that's spent, to look at it all the time and see if it's still appropriate. And to keep the city beautiful. Because, you know, our neighbors, even though they can't vote for us because of their physical address, they all come to Richfield for business, dinner, whatever. And they're just as important as the voters in town. So we extend our friendship throughout the county. And finally, I believe if we have a collaborative effort with the council, the county commissioners, our public employees, our Richfield employees, and the chamber, and all those folks, and Snow College, we'll have a good community, because teamwork is what I can bring to the council. There's a lot of experience here, and as I listen to everybody, some of them took the script right from me of what I was going to say. But so I just want to tell you about me. And Chris and I will be here. You can always talk to her as well as myself. And we love people. And again, it's a privilege to be here, and I thank you for your time.
First, I'd like to thank the Lions Club for inviting us this evening. Wow, what a group of... If you didn't love Richfield before you came to this meeting, you ought to now, because what a group of people you've got to choose from to lead your city. Particularly in the mayoral race. I'm Dr. Richard Barnett, and I'm running for mayor. And this is the first time in 20 years that you've had a choice for mayor, and that your vote will actually count. for the last 4 election cycles at least, and maybe beyond that, but for the last 4 election cycles at least, an individual has run unopposed for Richfield City Mayor. And so there hasn't really been a choice. And this year you have a choice of 3 of us. I can't hardly clear my throat in 5 minutes, but I'll do the best I can. Since it's a Lions Club meeting, and I'm glad Dave brought this up with his dad being president of the Lions Club and the vest he found. Since it's a Lions Club, I'm not going to talk about politics for him, I'm going to talk about the Lions Club. In 1972, when I was going into the 8th grade, my grandma and grandpa gave my mom and dad and my aunt and uncle a trip to Mexico City to the Lions International Convention. And since mom and dad weren't having to pay for themselves to go, they invited myself and my younger brother to go with them. And my mom lovingly sewed a felt Utah Lions vest for me and my brother, and you'll notice that they're both covered in pins. We spent 2 weeks in Mexico City with the Lions Club, and my brother and I set about to try and collect and gather a pin from each state in the United States at the 1972 Lions International Convention. I think we came away with, okay, it's 40 years ago, folks. But I think we came away with like 47 of the 50. And I've still got those. My brother doesn't know I've got his vest. And I keep these, and they stay in the closet. You notice they're kind of wrinkled. So I have a history with the Lions Club. Now back to politics. And for any of you that are members of it, I see some vests with pins. If you want to come up and look at some 1972 convention pins after, you're more than welcome. One of my favorite movies is a movie that's called Muppet Treasure Island. I love the Muppets. And at one point in Muppet Treasure Island, it's Treasure Island. Captain Long John Silver and Jim Hawkins, and they're on the island and they're looking for the treasure. And in the Muppets have a band, and the name of the band is Dr. Love and the Electric Mayhem. And at one point, one of the members of the band says to him, he says, "Hey man, are we on the side of the pirates or are we on the side of the other ship?" And Dr. Love says, "Dude, just play the gig, don't get into politics." None of us listen to the advice, apparently. I detest, which is the softest word I can think of, I detest politics. I can't stand politics. I can't abide politics. But I thrive on service. I thrive on public service. 17 years ago, my wife and I moved our family to Richfield from Salt Lake. I grew up in Salt Lake, went to Cottonwood High School. My wife grew up in Davis County, went to Davis High School. 17 years ago, we chose to move our orthodontic practice here. We could have lived anywhere in the country. We chose to move here. Our oldest son was just starting high school. In the time since we've moved here, I found out early on that all you have to do is raise your hand and say, "I'm willing to help." And there are more opportunities than you can ever fulfill. I don't like to talk about myself and the things that I've done because that's not why I'm involved in things. But in the 17 years that we've lived here, I've had the opportunity to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce. I've had the opportunity to aid with and assist with the formation of the High School Booster Club and to serve as their president. I've had the opportunity to serve now for 6 years on the City Council, and for 2 election cycles you've chosen to elect me to represent you on the City Council in Richfield. We have a lot to be thankful for and grateful for in this city. This is a wonderful place to live, full of wonderful people with wonderful opportunities. Yeah, we've got some problems, we've got some concerns, we've got some things we need to deal with. I've got a whole list of things that we need to deal with. But I wouldn't want to live anyplace else. And I'm glad that none of you do. And together, we can make this an even better place to live.